I should be like you, Melvin.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello to you wherever you are. Now, before we get going, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button. It helps this channel to grow. Of course, my name is Craig Beazley, and with me today, I have Mr. Ollie Hudson. How are you doing? You all right, Ollie?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks, Craig. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. And I am rocking the Clark Kents today. Look a little
They
bit
look
like
great, mate. They look
Superman.
really good.
I tell you what, I like them. I like them. You know, like the frames, the clear frames.
Yeah.
You know, it does look. Yeah, they look quite trendy actually. So, yeah, feeling like a new man today. Feeling like a new man. So, well, I tell you what. Let's get stuck into everything. And one thing that we haven't mentioned so far, but some really, really sad news this weekend was the passing of Uriah Rennie. Of course, everybody will remember him as the first black referee in the Premier League. You know, an absolutely fantastic referee. And yeah, it's very sad. I read into his story and what had happened to him since, and you know, it was extremely, you know, sad, especially as it looked like he was on the road to recovery. He was doing some bits as well to actually get himself out there, and you know, things that he loved. And yeah, very, very sad news, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. And he had such a successful time in the Premier League. I mean, obviously, being the first black referee in English football for a start was huge. But
Yeah,
300 professional matches in total. I think he issued 543 yellow cards, just over 40 red cards, and I think that was between 1996 and 2008 ish.
yeah.
But just an awesome tenure, and yeah, a super sad time for someone who did look like they were going to bounce back. So yeah, it's a real shame, and thoughts and prayers with his family for sure.
Most definitely, most definitely. And do you know what? When I read, you know, the articles, you know, I don't like the fact that they do bring up that he was the first black referee. The main reason is because he was such a good referee. He was,
Mhm.
you know, his own person. He did such a great job, and you know, um, I always, you know, whenever I saw him on the pitch refereeing a match, I knew, and I've mentioned him several times in several videos.
Yeah.
And you know, he's a man that you know. I would have absolutely loved to have had a conversation with. Of course, we've had Mark Housey on the show, but I'd love to have had a conversation with Uriah. You know, find out a little bit more about you know his life growing up and of course, the troubles and the challenges that he had, you know, actually to make it as a referee in the professional game. But you know, like I say, he was an absolutely outstanding referee, and yeah, thoughts and prayers are with everybody connected to Uriah at this time. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah, very, very sad when I actually saw that news, especially somebody who was a staple of me watching Premier League football growing up. But I tell you what, let's come on to some of the comments as well, because there is quite a few comments in here. Paul from Oz has said, "Morning, Craig, Ollie, and Matt, if he's around." From Australia, Paul from Oz here, 5 p.m. in Sydney, when Paul said that message, which was 5 minutes past 4 a.m. this morning. I was
Afternoon, Paul.
nicely tucked afternoon, Paul. I was nicely tucked up in bed. So yeah, sorry I didn't see that earlier, but yeah, there is the shout out, and good to see you. We've also got Brian in the house. Who stays? Who goes? Who knows? Very, very true, Brian. You know, couldn't have said it better myself. Couldn't have said it better myself. Paul Santa said, "Good morning, all. Good morning, Paul. Hope you're doing well." Of course, he would be here. Malcolm Chiverton, good friend of the channel. He said, "Good morning, everyone. I hope all is good with you all." Good morning, Malcolm. Always a pleasure to see your face every morning. Chris Hubble, good morning, Craig and Ollie. Dan Shorts also said, "Morning, guys. Besides Kirkes, any rumoured outgoings?" Oh, Paul is with us. Hello, Paul. Sorry, I've just seen that message. I'm scrolling down from top to bottom here. But yeah, he is here. So good to see you, Paul. Joe is also in the house this morning. And this is brilliant. The only rumours I listen to is Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, which, you know, to be honest, Fleetwood Mac are a great band. They
Yeah.
really are a good band. You know, and oh, what was the song? What's their main song? Oh, now it's going to bug me all day. That
Which one are you talking about?
it's the most popular one, of
What, on the
course.
F1? The
There is
chain?
the F1. Yes, yes.
And
See,
then you got
they-
Dreams. You got,
yeah.
oh mate, Fleetwood Mac. I think I noticed a post yesterday actually. Malcolm went to see them in Germany in 2019 or 2018
Oh, mate,
live. Which I believe that's true. I think I saw that on Facebook. But yeah, it looked fantastic.
definitely, definitely. I wish I was there. So I tell you what, let's talk about this because it's not actually so much of a rumor now, but it's something that Mark McAdam has come out with. And Mark McAdam's come out with it on the wonderful world of X. Don't worry, if you don't have X, we're going to tell you what Mark's posted. Mark, I'm sure you don't mind. But yeah, the source of this is Mark McAdam, not me. So Mark's put Adrien Truffert, verbal agreement in place at Rennes. Liverpool have made contact with Bournemouth for Milas Kerkez. No offer has been made as of yet, but Liverpool are exploring conditions of a potential deal. Kirkhead's keen. Finer details still to be discussed. And I know we were going to end out on this point, but we might as well, seeing as rumours has been mentioned. 2 years ago in Berlin, there we are. Honestly, that would
2 years ago, there we go.
yeah, honestly, I'm jealous now, Malcolm. I know all the songs. You know, when you listen to songs, you know them, don't you? But you can't actually pinpoint the actual titles when you're actually trying to recite them back. That's where I am at this moment in time. Um, but what do you make of this, Ollie? Because of course we mentioned Adrien Truffert. There was a rumor going round. It seems like it's more substantial now. Mark's got hold of it, and you know Mark was probably aware of it beforehand, but he wouldn't disclose it unless he thought that there was something happening. That's how Mark McAdam works.
Sure.
What do you make of this?
Yes, it's interesting, right? I think it's from a valid source for sure, as you've
Yeah.
mentioned. And I think considering it's now come out into the open, it probably is much more reliable information.
Mhm.
I think the terms of the agreement, correct me if I'm wrong, are Liverpool have to take Milos Kerkez or Milos Kerkez has to leave either way for us to purchase Adrien Truffert. If
Yeah.
that doesn't happen and Kerkez doesn't go anywhere, We don't get Truffert, Kirkes stays. I think it's a good deal. I do think Kirkes will go no matter what anyway. I think even if Liverpool don't get a deal in for him, someone else will.
Yeah.
And he's of the mentality at the minute that he now wants to go, I think. So we should let him go, and we should take Adrien Truffert in. I think it's a good signing. I think it's a positive signing and a strengthening of the back four that we obviously discussed last week, and I think is a necessity at the minute.
I think this is very, very clever move by Frano and Thiago Pinto, because it's a case where what we don't want is to limit the game time for Julio Soler. He is a good, promising youngster, but it kind of indicates the reason why we're bringing in Truffert is he's not ready for the moment. So, maybe he needs to just continue his education. Maybe he needs a loan move to a championship club so he can experience a little bit more of the English game. He did play a very good game against West Bromwich Albion in the cup, and he's had moments as well coming off the bench. But maybe Adrien Truffert, when you do look at the stats actually, and I was looking at some stats this morning, it looks like it's a clever move. I agree with you. I think Kirkes is going to leave at some point. Anyway, where that will be, if it's not Liverpool, it will probably be somewhere else. But the good thing is this club isn't being held to ransom. They're not turning around and saying, look, we're offering 45 million and we're just biting the hand off for it. We don't have to sell as a football club. We can be a little bit more shrewd with this and go, look, we will sell at the right price for AFC Bournemouth.
Yeah, and I think that's something to seriously focus on. Right, is we haven't necessarily always been like that.
Yeah.
We've almost bitten the hand off at good offers all the time. So the fact that we're turning that status quo a little bit internally and saying, no, if you want these players, you can pay the big bucks for them, and that will allow us to then increase and move our position on in much better ways, right? With all the different money, all the different options and doors that money opens when it comes in.
Yeah.
But if we keep these players, then we're going to have a strong team moving forward. So which one would you rather have? Would you rather keep the Kirkes, the Zabas, the Deans, and go into another season looking stronger for Europe, or would you rather get rid of those players and follow the recruitment process that everyone is now kind of buying into and building? I think it's super interesting. I think it comes from the back of Bill Foley, right? With let's hold on to the gold. Let's keep the gold nuggets that we've found, and if people want to buy them, let them pay over the odds.
The thing is we've got to kind of weigh up the pros and cons, when selling a player. And Milos Kerkez doesn't appear to be like Zabania, doesn't appear to be one of those ones that will sulk. I might be completely wrong with that, but they don't look like one of those people that will actually sulk. That they were denied a chance of moving to Liverpool, PSG. However, if there is going to be a dip in performances because of that, then maybe sometimes it is best to cash in and get this money and then reinvest that into a player that wants to be here, a player that is hungry, and a player that can really progress. Some quick messages here as well. Malcolm Shiverton has said, I wouldn't loan Soler out. Cup games and regular on the bench for getting more minutes. Makes
I agree
sense,
with that.
actually. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I was just thinking, if he's, he might be itching to get a run of games together, which maybe we can't offer at this moment in time. But who knows? Who knows? A top end championship team, maybe even for half a season might bring him on quite a bit. But yeah, I think he's good enough. I think he's a really, really exciting prospect. So we shall see. Paul Santa said his stats are similar to Kirkes. Yes, I was having a little look at this. So, of course, there's only 2 years difference in between them. Now, the cross percentage is actually Milos Kerkez has got 39.8. Adrien Truffert has got 54.8. his progression passes are actually higher again. 49.9% to Kirke's 40.4. Defensive actions 61.2 compared to Kirke's 37.8. Defensive duel 1, Kirke's 51.4 to 88.9. Aerial battles 43.4 compared to Kirke's 35.7. And minutes played, Kirkes has played more minutes. He played 3,676 minutes, whereas Truffert played 3,016 minutes last season. So, to be honest, it looks like we are getting a very good deal. I would take those with a pinch of salt because, as we've said before, the French league is not as strong as the English league. And Paul, I can see your comment. I am going to just quickly come back to that in a moment, but we'll do that in between a little bit of a break. But yeah, I think, yeah, it all does. It makes sense. It makes sense if he can actually move this over to the Premier League. These sort of stats. We've got one hell of a player and some more great recruitment by Frano and Pinto, and they've been doing a lot of that. So yeah, very exciting times. Even though I say the French league is, weaker than the Premier League, and it is, they do have one of the best national teams in the world. I don't know, just quickly touching on it, but I don't know if you watched England last night, Ollie. But we're not winning anything, are we?
No, and I didn't watch them
You was
because
lucky. You was
because of
lucky.
the
It was terrible.
it's one of those things that just I'm not going to say disappoints me anymore, more like devastates me. It's
Mm.
past the point of disappointment with our national team, and I struggle to watch them sometimes, so I try and avoid it as much as possible.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Going to come back to this comment. Of course, there is a Fleetwood Mac running theme throughout today's show. Paul from Oz said he saw Fleetwood Mac in Sydney in 2019, so everybody's a Fleetwood Mac fan here. I think Matt, I'm sure Matt is a massive Mac fan as well. Fleetwood fan? No, he's not a Fleetwood fan, but a Fleetwood Mac fan as well. So yeah, um, yeah, we're all in the house. See, Bournemouth, Fleetwood Mac. Why don't you come down to the Big? That would be a good one.
You
That would be a good
imagine?
one. Yeah, but seeing as, of course, Malcolm lives abroad, as does Paul. Yeah, it would just be locals. But yeah, come over for a visit. And come and watch Fleetwood Mac, guys. Right. I tell you what, let's move on from that. And you did notice the other day, it was announced by, do you notice before me? It was announced by the club the other day about a new show that's coming out. Tell us a little bit more about it, Ollie.
Yeah, super exciting. It is actually out today, so it is called The Pathway.
Yeah,
It's our new academy documentary. It's also going to be featuring bits of the women's team as well, I believe.
yeah,
It's going to be out today on the AFCB TV as well as their YouTube channel at 4 p.m.
yeah.
New episodes are going to be released every 2 days, and it looks like it's going to be an awesome insight. And it looks like it's created really well with some of the videography that I've seen on some of the
Mhm.
trailers. So yeah, that's super exciting, and please everyone keep an eye out for that and try and get on that as soon as possible because that will be some talking points coming up next week.
100%, 100%. And I think there's a reason why they're doing this and revealing this now. I think that this is going to be a long-term thing. The main reason being is because we've got the new Camford Magna training ground
Yeah,
all opening. I think they want to document the journey from what we've got in place at the moment, which is a very, very good youth team setup. Don't get me wrong, to a Category 1 academy and the hoops that need to be jumped through to do that. Um, I think it takes unless the rules have been changed. I read into this a couple of years ago. I think you can apply for the next step up every 2 years. So this may be a little bit of a long-term plan, but considering our status in the Premier League, we may be given special dispensation to actually move forwards quicker, considering the new site as well. Of course, the FA's plan is to get the best English players out there to build a best England team, which we definitely need at the moment based on last night. So it would be in their best interest to have another Category 1 academy. And you know, all those years ago, Ollie, where you had the likes of Adam Lallana and all the best players from this area, they'd all end up at Southampton. What's great about this is they're not going to be anymore. They are going to be staying at Bournemouth.
Yeah, well, they went to Southampton and then pretty quickly went off to all the bigger clubs, right? And we usually lost out on a lot of that. So it does seem that the tides are changing, which is, again, super exciting, right? If we can start benefiting out of these get-out clauses and benefiting from selling players to big clubs rather than getting them gone to Southampton every time, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I am also looking forward to watching this as well, Malcolm. It's going to be a good watch. It's going to be good watch. And how can people watch it? Is it on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, so it's on AFCB TV if people
Yeah.
are members and have subscriptions, and it's also on the YouTube channel. So it'll be streaming at 4 p.m.
Perfect. Awesome. We will be keeping our eyes peeled, and no doubt giving our reaction tomorrow on what we've seen in that first episode. But it continues. Saw Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac at the Ritz in Bournemouth in 1969. Wow. Okay. I don't think any of us could actually beat that. To be fair, I wasn't around in 1969, so I couldn't have been there. So, but yeah, it's yeah. Do you know what? If anybody from Fleetwood Mac is watching, please reach out, because I think we have got quite a decent interview all lined up for you, and I think everybody will be quite pleased. I think it might be a difficult one. That I think it could
I
well
think
be.
so. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I think they are. And just on that, Albatross was number one. So yeah. What we'll do as well is I'll just bring up this one from Paul from Oz as well. Eddie always said we needed a training centre as soon as possible. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Stop players going to Southampton and keep them within the area. But
the training centre is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
It is absolutely state of the art. It looks next level. It's an amazing addition to the plan that we're building moving forward.
And Paul Sanders said, "Oh well, I'm not sure what to, but there we are. Maybe Albatross being number one." Malcolm said, "Tusk." Do you know what? I don't know. I might be missing this. I might be missing where we're going with the conversation. I think it's all about Albatross being number one. But let's go on to Joe's comment. Don't worry, I haven't ignored it, Joe. He said, "What do we think about the one pre-season game? Any ideas why some are behind closed doors?" I think that this might be a good time to actually discuss this, because of course the pre-season fixtures have come out. And Ollie, do tell us a little bit more about them.
Yeah, so great question, Joe. I'm also intrigued about the two behind closed doors games. Not sure why. They are on the 15th of July against Hibernian and the 19th of July against Bristol City. Not sure what the reason would be for them being behind closed doors or not having fans, or I'm not sure. Yet to be understood. However, the following three games, all in America, are pretty exciting. So that's Bournemouth v Everton in New Jersey on the 26th of July. Bournemouth versus Man United in Chicago on the 30th of July. And then Bournemouth versus West Ham United in Atlanta on the 3rd of August. So three pretty exciting games in pre-season. And then we go back to another behind closed doors games against Real Sociedad at the Vitality Stadium. So yeah, between the 15th of July and the 9th of August, we've got 6 games planned in. I'll have to come back to you, Joe, with some more information as to why the reasoning behind them being behind closed doors. To be honest, mate.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they are going to be played at either our new Camford Magna training ground, or
Possibly.
they could
Yep.
be played at Wimborne Town or Poole Town or somewhere like that. If it's Poole Town, it'd be quite good actually, because you can just look over the fence and watch it. But yeah, it's a case of I think just to see how the players have reacted when they've come back from their holidays. I think that's probably the plan with those two games. And these summer series American games will be quite interesting. Everton, of course, in New Jersey. That'll please Max. Of course, Max, who's on the channel, he loves Everton. He loves Everton. All he does is moan about me. He can't stand them. So yeah, that'll please him. Before playing Manchester's second club, possibly going to be third club before long when Stockport County get their act together. Manchester United, and then we play to we play the running track in Atlanta in West Ham United. Before two games against Real Sociedad, against their B team, and then of course on that same day we're actually playing their full team. That is going to be a friendly that you can go to at Dean Court, but I'm sure that there's probably going to be other friendlies in there as well thrown in, just to get the players up to speed and get the
Think
players.
so. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I've just got some bits as well. So, oh well, and Tusk. Paul said Fleetwood Mac song. Oh well was a hit, and Malcolm's corrected me. See, I feel like an absolute donkey now. Craig, oh well, and Tusk were songs by Fleetwood Mac. I'll hold my hands up. I honestly I honestly didn't know. It's one of those where I know the song. Well, when I listen to them, I know the songs. But yeah, I sound like a bit of a wally now. I bet they were thinking actually that Bournemouth show. Quite like to go on there for an interview, and now they've just watched it and gone, well, he can go stuff himself, because at the end of the
But
day,
by the sound of things, we'll let Malcolm come on and do
yeah,
the questioning. Yeah.
Malcolm, if you want to interview Fleetwood Mac, let's get working. I'll reach out to him. But yeah, you do the interview, mate. Quick one from Chris Hubble. Would we see the new kits for next season? I can
Good
imagine.
question. I will leave that with me, Craig and Chris. I will find out and get an answer with you before the week is out, because I would also like to see the new kits.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that they will probably be released in July. Whether or not we'll see BJ88 on the front of them, who knows? I know some fans will go absolutely crazy if we do. To be fair, for me, as long as they got the unsponsored shirts, I'll get one of them.
Yeah.
It's not a problem for me. And Jim Favola is only doing what Jim Favola needs to do to actually drive the revenue. So yeah. How do we feel about the new ticketing system? Have we heard good things about SeatGeek? So this is a bit of a frustrating point. I'll be honest. The ticketing system as it works at the moment is absolutely fine. So if it's not broke, why are we actually looking to fix it? I
Yeah. And after a quick search as well, it seems that most people seem to be happy with it. The overhaul of the whole ticketing operation seems to have gone down successfully. So it seems that there
yeah.
aren't really too many concerns at the moment.
I think the tickets when you get to the ground are absolutely fine. You like scanning them in, but the website, when ordering tickets, has got a lot to be desired. To be fair, and that's something that a lot of fans have said, not just myself. So yeah, the actual website probably needs a little bit of an overhaul. Whether or not that is all done by the current ticketing platform in place, or whether or not that's an error on AFC Bournemouth's behalf, I don't know. But I'm guessing that Bill Foley and Jim Favola have gone through and said, well, the website ordering tickets online is pretty shoddy at the moment, so we better get something that improves. It's probably going to have teething problems, so hopefully nobody's going to jump down Jim Favola's neck straight away, like they have done all season with BJ88. But on the spin side, I don't think it's broken when you get to the ground. I think that's quite good. The tickets work absolutely fine. Never had any problems with that. So we shall see. Paul from Oz, maybe we could get Fleetwood Mac to sponsor our shirts. Well, if BJ88, hang on, here's an idea. BJ88 have paid the full 2 years, but they can't operate in the UK. Why not? Why not have Fleetwood Mac across our shirts?
Can you imagine? That would be unbelievable.
It would be immense. Of course, Ipswich had Ed Sheeran. Of course, Ed Sheeran is a Ipswich fan, but we could have Blur. That might be another one. Of course, Alex James, meant to be a Bournemouth fan as well. So yeah, why not Blur? When they come back, I'm sure they'll be back at some point because of renew the rivalry with Oasis. So yeah, who knows? Who knows? There's going to be some silly suggestions in a minute. Somebody's going to turn around and say Billy Piper. Yeah, I think those days are gone. Malcolm's put a laughing face, and Malcolm said, I need a new shirt when I come over. Yeah, definitely. The club store did have a flash sale, which was a little bit unfair actually to fans based further away. But also you had to be there really at the ground to actually get hold of any of the deals, because they went down to, I think it was about £20, and by the time I went in there, everything was pretty much gone. Everything was just
I'm pretty sure I saw some videos of people queuing outside early.
Yes, they
very,
were
very early. I think like almost 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. that morning. So
yeah, and I'd be damned if I'd be doing that,
yeah.
But yeah, um, Malcolm has said the Wombles. The the Wombles sponsoring the shirt. Yeah, I'll
Wouldn't
tell
be
you
my
what.
first choice.
No, probably Wimbledon's first choice actually. Which congratulations to AFC Wimbledon and my good friend Ray there, who of course promoted back to League One after 3 seasons, I think it was out. So yeah, massive congratulations. Always like that story. Born out of something that should never ever have happened. And Paul, if Keir Starmer sponsors the front of our shirts, our home shirts, I am definitely getting an unsponsored one. I am. Politics shouldn't be on this show, really. But I tell you what, I am going to turn around and say it now. I cannot stand the guy. I will just buy an unsponsored home shirt, away shirt, third shirt if Keir Starmer is on there, and I'm pretty sure there will be probably very few people, actually wearing the shirts around Dean Court if it's got Keir Starmer's name embezzled on the front. Do you know what? It could go even crazier. I don't think Kemi Badenoch got the pull, but yeah, cowards. Paul, and Malcolm. I don't know if Malcolm is a. I think that's stop swearing because of saying the words Keir Starmer. So yeah, but yeah, I can't imagine Kemi Badenoch has got the pull of being on the home shirt. And yeah, You never know. Nigel Farage's might go down quite well, but I tell you what, let's park the politics there because we're not a politics show. And I've just revealed, yeah. Let's get Chris Billam-Smith. There we are. That's more worth it.
Much better.
That's
Much better idea.
much better.
Or Chicken and Blues.
Chicken and Blues, yes. Chicken
and
and
Blues.
Definitely. What about, Smokies? I don't know if you ever had a Smokies from Ashley Road. Yeah, Ashley Road.
I've had a Smokies,
Oh, mate, honestly, they are absolute immense. A band sponsor would be great. Well, I tell you what, we've had plenty on here. Five are doing their tour. Hey, maybe I should get in contact with Richie Neville. Ask him, Richie, fancy being on Bournemouth shirts? Of course, he's an Aston Villa fan. Happy Mondays, they might do it. Who else? Hardfi? The Brentford fans, they're probably.
Hardfi would be cool, but a bit outdated now, aren't they?
I absolutely love Hardfi, of course. Richard Archer come on this show as well. I'm just going to start plugging now. Maybe David Icke might want to be on the front of the shirts. Again, that's going to be another controversial one, isn't it, for a lot of fans?
Yeah. Conversation for another day, I think.
Yeah, definitely. There we are. We've had a little bit of a laugh at the end. So, yeah, politics doesn't belong on this show, but you all know that I can't stand Keir Starmer. Anyway, I think everything has been pretty much covered today. But, Ollie, we're going to be doing this again tomorrow, aren't we?
We are indeed, yeah. So this is going to be every morning at 8 a.m, Monday to Friday, up until the season starts again.
Yes.
And when the season starts, there's going to be a couple of other additions to the week, isn't there? But I'm sure we'll let everyone know about all those fun and exciting things nearer the time.
Most definitely. Niall Kane has said, good morning, lads. Good morning, Niall. Hope you're doing well. And Paul from Oz said, it's all good fun, guys. And yeah, most definitely. And I have had something just come through that I'm not actually going to, and it's come through from Twitch. It's come through from Twitch. Somebody has suggested an American politician. Somebody's mentioned the Don. Donald Trump. And I think on that note, I think that's where we need to end. Thank you again, guys, for joining us. It is a great laugh. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early and bushy-tailed. Do keep your eyes peeled, though. Do keep your eyes peeled, because at 7 p.m. tonight, Matt and Johnny Blair will be doing Highlanders to Seasiders. It will be launched at 7 p.m. tonight. So keep your eyes peeled.
Really looking
That
forward
will
to that.
be on the show. So yeah, go watch The Pathway and then straight over onto Up the Cherries in all departments and come watch Matt and Johnny's. And I've already, to be honest, I do quite a lot of the editing, and so therefore I always get to see things beforehand. And bloody hell, it is a really, really good show that the two of them have done. So yeah, please go support it. Until tomorrow, thank you for joining us. And yeah, I shall see you then, Ollie.
Thanks so much. Bye for now.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.